All right. Hey, Shalom. First and
Shalom.
foremost, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers back, from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and as always, we got the beloved Adataza Pi as well, and the
Uh-huh.
Wadi Habash, the Wadi Habashim Al Shah for another opportunity. As always, man, another opportunity to come, which it's a daily thing that we do, but to come push forth prophecy in the earth, to tie these things to the current events that's going on. And we got an open forum lesson tonight. We don't have no specific, I guess, topic, so to say, any specific things to touch on, which is a lot happening in the world. So we're going to do a little open forum, hit a few things here and there. But before we hop into it, Elder Tazapah, if you have anything, the floor is yours.
No, sir, I don't have nothing at this time. You got it.
Con. So with that, like we said, there's a lot going on. Matter of fact, I'll start with a scripture. Be not ignorant of anything. This is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And we definitely in the time, well, this 5 and 15 of the book of Sirach, but this links right up in Ephesians 5 and 15. It says to be circumspect, right, in these times that we are in, because the days are evil. So even if you don't have an article or emergency breaking news that might catch your attention, there's a lot of other little things that the Lord doing around the earth as well that's going to bring forth the major event. So that's why it's exciting just to watch the movie play out and knowing what's going on. But I read it one more time, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and 15. It says, be not ignorant, and ignorant means ultimately not to know. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. And you see some of these camps, in times past, a couple of years ago, when major prophecies wasn't as pertinent as they are now, like the MOTB. And you had some camps that was ignorant to it. They put it off. You see, they put it off like IUIC with the MOTB. But now as these things happening, they see that those little things that the apostles touched on a while back is now in everybody's face. So those little things will become big events. But you had anything on the Taza Pop before we hop into it in the precept?
Oh, yeah. I got something right quick.
Come.
Just a second. All
Come,
right.
man, you
This
got
is
it.
Job chapter 20, verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Now, here's the scripture that it speaks to Esau Edom, the so-called white people. So how is it that this just so happens to fit Nate right now? His whole organization, all his leadership, his heads, with that whole flip-flop. They should call him Bishop Flip-Flop.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to call him Bishop Flip-Flop. Because like you say on the MOTB, now they saying, it's connected to the digital currency. I don't know if he came out and said, actually straight up said the microchip.
Nah, he did. He
But
just said the digital ID.
the digital ID and all of that. That's what I thought. Okay. So, yeah, but they going to have to come because, see, they know we big on that. And so they don't want to sound like us, So they throwing the digital in there. But we know what it is. But yeah, man, that this should speak volumes to those who follow these people. All right, we're in a time where they're about to drop the hammer. All right, we've been at war. They've been taking us to war. All right, and the whole problem is we've had leaders. That's why the scripture said that the gates have languished because we have had sellout leaders that hadn't been preparing us unto the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. We've been at war and getting our asses kicked because nobody told us we was in a war. But we're here behind enemy lines as POWs, and they kicking us in the ass. Well, word. All right, those who awaken to this truth, so we know that's why you used the scripture you brought out that you started with. We're not ignorant to his devices. All right. But when you have these hypocritical leaders, they set you up for failure. And they don't even give you a fighting chance. All right. Follow the apostles of Great Millstone. They give you a fighting chance. All right. So if you look in the world, you'll see what I mean. Our people are catching L's on both sides, all genders, male, female, young and old, you name it. Our people catching hell. All right. The Lord got something better coming. All right. But hey, if you don't want it, you ain't got to get it. But yeah, you got it.
Nah, that's it. That's it. And again, we're in exciting times, man. As brothers been saying this kind of lately. Like, if you're not excited about it, it's like, do we really believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua? The Lord showing us everything that we've been talking about. We believe in it. It's happening, man. Live and direct.
That's right.
And that's why the scripture saying Peter, but brother, no way. As that, I always get it mixed up. It is either 2 Peter 1 or 1 Peter 2. But the Lord, Apostle Peter said that we have a more sure word of prophecy. We don't doubt nothing over here. We know it's true. Because if not, what the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have taught us, if this is not the truth, please point me in the direction of the truth. And who got it? Who got it? Anybody in the world who got it?
Yep.
But with that, we'll hop into the news. And Shalom Tala Akim Agwatu may be tuning in. Yahweh Shem Shabrak Thumb. So we'll hop into it. Like I said, it's a various topics, so we'll kind of bounce to and fro. Now in this one, which further proves we're in spiritual Sodom. Spiritual Sodom. Now this from End Time Headlines. This was put out a couple of days ago, April 19th. It says drag queen group mocks Jesus and Christianity in Easter show marketed. Now, before I even read this, what I want to say is that first and foremost, we don't believe in no Easter anyway. A bunny with eggs and painting the eggs. It's still, how is it supposed to represent the Lord rising? Now we understand the purpose of it, which we would call Easter, our Pesach, the Passover. But in this world, they have it. And I know you kind of, you go all into that, Elder Tazapah, those ancient, holidays, those time periods. But they are trying to portray it as if we're in a Passover time, but they put a bunny and all that. But the only reason we kind of bringing this up and want to touch on this is not so much as that they mocking Christianity and Easter. It's just the point that these people, they don't know Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but in their mind, if a Jesus character and Christianity, their truth was real, this how they will respond. The point is, this how they will respond to a higher power. And this which further shows we're in America, man. Oh, well, we clearly in spiritual Sodom, which is America. And if I can I'm gonna get a precept. You got it, Elder Tazapah.
And we are going to, how the pinnacle of this man, when you read in Job, he reached his heights at 1969, 1970, and that was his height. And then or his peak, if you will, and from there he began to go down. And that's true in every way, because then you had the financial, that was the beginning of this what is it, $36 trillion debt was 1971, shortly after 69. With the petrodollar, you had a decline in morals. I just watched a little short kind of a documentary. They was just asking people random questions about the miniskirt in 1960. And it was just to the knees, just above the knees. And women were saying, it's disgusting. They said, I wouldn't be caught dead in that. And this is the white woman at that. This is when they wore their heads, covered. They wear the little head covers back then. And they would wear, dresses past the knees. If you came out there to the house showing your knees, you was, they would look at you sideways. You would be a hussy, you know. But look at where we are now. To like you saying, with the mockery of Yahweh Shai. I even seen a picture, I believe it was 1954 in New York, where they would light the buildings up with crosses, you know. And again, as you saying, it's secular, but they had a sense of decency and a reverence for a higher power, even if they didn't know him. And you know, because we didn't most of our lives, we didn't know the Lord intimately. But right, man, this place, a lot of people just don't know how far America has fallen, and it really began around 69, 70. But yeah, bro, you got it.
I got a quick one to back you up, at Tazapah, how you was going into as it was beginning to fall. It was a moral decline in that as well. And it's reminded me of this precept in Tobit. This Tobit chapter 4 and verse 13. It says, "Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them." This is the point. It says, check this out, Tobit 4 and 13. It says, "For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness," and that's what we see. Look at this.
Lewdness.
And the thing is, I'm you know, kind of want to show, you know, but you don't want to show it because it's lewd.
Right.
You know? But the thing is, when I'm gonna scroll up real quick and we gonna you know, dead it, right?
And what's so funny with you saying that, that's like, you know, Shar Ariala and the, you know, the Alizé whole debacle, you know, it's so lewd, you really don't want to hear it, but you got to be in the loop. But you don't want to hear a lot of that shit, you know. But yeah, brother, I feel you. Go ahead.
Con, I just get that word lewd. It's a quick Google definition, and I'm sure it hit hard in the etymology online, but it says lewd. It says crude. Crude means constructed in a rudimentary or makeshift way. It says crude and offensive in a sexual way. Similar words: vulgar, smutty, dirty, filthy, pornographic, indecent, unseemly, so on and so forth, tasteless. Now let's go back to this again. I mind you, this is grown men, beards and all, and it just happened April 20th, beards and all. No females in this picture right here, and Jesus in the middle. Look. Hey, we ain't talking about Yahweh Shai. We ain't talking about Yahweh Shai. And Jesus, the Christianity, this world Jesus, he in the middle.
Right.
So and again, I'm not talking about Yahweh Shai, but in the world sense, the Christianity sense, this is what Jesus rose to do. That's
what he represents. That's exactly, that is why when we read, you know, the scriptures ain't lying. I'm gonna read it real quick for you. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city." This is the great city, America, US of A. It says, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. They intentionally set out to do a crucifixion of the God of the scriptures. And who better to do it than the image posted up in these churches? Because that's where it began. So right, that is what Cesare Sweet Jesus represent. He represent that rainbow lifestyle. Everything in America. This is why we tell y'all, F Christ. Because that's the Christ energy. You got to get back to the East, we are Hebrew Israelites. All right. This ain't a fad. It ain't the next hip thing to do. All right. This is our nationality. This is our way of life. The scriptures are our way of life. So at the end of the day, you know, it's about the doctrine, and it goes further. The doctrine governs our life, or it should govern your life. You know, but hey, this world, that's what they want. They want that. There you go.
Jesus got an IPA in his hand. Look.
Smoking the Marlboro.
he got the IPA though.
With a Winston.
Nah, I finish this precept though.
Yeah.
But we can move on, you know. But real quick, going back to Tobit 4:13. I start at the top again. It says, "Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them." That's the point. For in pride is destruction. And we know that's what it's going to lead to, destruction. It says, and much trouble. It says, and in lewdness, as we just seen, pornography, right? So on and so forth. It says, and in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine. So as we see the course that America and these Americans are going, is going to lead to what? Destruction. It's going to lead to what? Much trouble. It's going to lead to what? Decay and great want. And ultimately a famine as well. Matter of fact, I got one more.
Man.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Really, I got two more, but they quick. The second Esdras chapter 3, because Esdras said the same thing when he went to Babylon. He was like, man, these people don't have no respect of a higher power. Second Esdras 3:28, it says, are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the domain over Zion? It says, for when I came thither, so when he came to Babylon, when I came thither and had seen impieties without number. What's impiety? A lack of respect of a higher power. And again, we ain't advocating for Easter and the bunny or just the Jesus character. No, we talking about even if they thought this was a real God, this is how they would respond to it. If we were the world pushed, I don't want to say a holiday, but an honoring, right? A holy day for Yahushua, because he rose, so on and so forth. This how Americans will respond to it. That's what Elder Taza brought out, that America is the main hub of anti-Christ, but anti-Yahushua activity. This is the main place where they crucify our Lord image, man. But it says, Ezra said right here, 2nd Esdras 3:29, for when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. He felt the same as Lot did. But let's see what this is going to lead to, and we can move on at the Tazapab. You don't have nothing else. The 2nd Esdras chapter 2 and verse 8, it says, woe be unto thee, Ashur, thou that hidest the unrighteous in thee. Now let's see what type of unrighteous this place Ashur, which America is spiritually Ashur, like Assyria. What type of unrighteousness is hiding in thee? Because there's many type of stealing could be unrighteous. You know, adultery could be unrighteous, right? Murder could be unrighteous. What type? Which one? It says 2nd Esdras 2:8, woe be unto thee, Ashur, thou that hidest. And when you go into that word hide, another definition for hide is to protect. I believe it's the Merriam-Webster to be exact. So this place Ashur, our spiritual place Ashur, is protecting a certain unrighteous people. Let's see what kind. It says, woe be unto thee, Ashur, thou that hidest the unrighteous in thee, or protect the unrighteous in thee. It says, O thou wicked people, remember what I did unto Sodom and Gomorrah. It says, whose land lieth in clouds of pitch and heaps of ashes, even so also will I do unto them that hear of me not, saith the Lord. So guess what's coming to America? The same thing, fire and brimstone. And I mind you, this was in San Francisco 4 days ago, on the so-called, as they would say, Easter weekend, right? So this is how they honor the so-called, you know, as they would thank the Lord in America, by mocking them. But you had anything else on that, Elder Tazapab?
Brother. No, you good.
So with that, and again, it's an open forum, so we're going to hit different topics. Now, this was put out yesterday, and again, a part of end time prophecy. It made it feel like almost, if not every week, every other week, we, the Lord allow us to bring out an article touching on an earthquake somewhere in the world, if not multiple earthquakes.
Yep.
Which follows your Yahushua prophecy. If a brother want to throw that in the chat, Baba Kashar, because we ain't gonna read too much into this. But which follows your Yahushua prophecy when he says it's gonna be earthquakes in diverse places in Matthew 24. Well, we seen it. It says end time headlines. It says powerful 6.2 earthquake rocks Istanbul, Turkey, followed by 51 aftershocks. So it ain't just stop with the earthquake. I read a little bit, and because it's still developing. How many deaths it may be or injuries. So it says on April 23rd, 2025, a 6.2 and you know what? What I noticed, a lot of these earthquakes, it's been the average haven't been a 1.7 or the 2.3s or the 3s or the 4 earthquakes. It's been 5 and 6 and over. A lot of them been 5 and over. They cause a lot of damage. It says a 6.2 magnitude earthquake struck the Sea of Marmara, south of Istanbul, Turkey, at 12:59 p.m. local time. It says the quake, which occurred at depth of approximately 7 kilometers and lasted 13 seconds, was followed by 51 aftershocks, the largest measuring 5.9 magnitude. And I jumped down real quick. And it says over 6,000 emergency calls were reported and 151 injuries were documented. Primarily from people jumping from windows, or balconies in fear. You got someone there, Tazapar?
No, hey, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I wish we had footage on it. See them take they leap of death.
Quick.
I read this real quick. The brother Yahweh, I knew he was coming with it. Matthew 24:6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things shall come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Yep. Next one, and I'm sure this next one, Akim Akwath, who tune in, are pretty much privy to this as well. Which this is times we coming. It ain't just gonna be you can go in a grocery store forever. You will be in America forever and just shopping and getting coupons and deals. No, we coming to a time where the law about to empty the shelves. Remember, it's a thing prophesied in the scriptures called the famine of the word, which I believe we touched on last week. But we'll be kind of quick with this one. You was about to say something?
No, I was just saying, yeah, we went into that last week.
So this dropped yesterday. It says the CEOs of Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and Lowe's warned that store shelves all over America could soon be empty. I read a little bit into it. It says, if you are going to need anything made in China, I will buy it now while you still can. Many companies have already decided that it no longer makes any economic sense to import Chinese-made products into the United States because tariff rates are so high. And matter of fact, I think I told you about this other times. I don't remember, but so we had this manufacturer, right? Who we rep them, we rep their company, but we had this just to show like a lot of stuff that should be imported from China. A lot of American companies said, nah, just keep it down there. The price too high to even bring it in. So we had this company, and they sell like specific light bulbs, and they was bringing in $5 million worth of light bulbs from China. But they found out if once it get here, they was gonna have to pay $8 million.
Yeah,
$8 million. So the smart, the practical, the best decision, they said, instead of us paying $5 million plus $8 million, just keep it down. Just send it back. We don't want it. We'll lose $5 million instead of $5 and $8 million. So that's just somebody that I know, a company that I know. How much more with major businesses that's going on around the world?
Man, yeah, I'm waiting to see how it's going to affect my job, because they do a lot of business with China. Yeah, it's getting real. But now Trump is talking about reducing the tariffs, making a U-turn, like they say. So, we'll see. But as we went into also, all of this is just isolating the U.S. So with the tariffs in place, goods will stop flowing. It's going to be a disrupt in the supply chain, however you cut it. Even, now, if he say reduce, but I don't know, China might just say, to hell with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the elite. Because at the end of the day, how I see it, this is where it's going. Is, the famine of the word, famine of food, and the complete control. So they'll have complete control. So as you were saying, if the shelves are empty, then where you gonna go to get food? You got to go see them people. Kissinger been talking about since I believe at least the 70s about using food as a weapon. So, I kind of look at everything with a conspiracy lens, but I see, like I was saying, they could use the tariffs to control demo the economy, but they also could bring about a lot of the prophecies. They could bring the famine through these tariffs. We just kind of have to wait and see, because we have a commander-in-chief that's all over the place, it seems. You don't never know where he going.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that voted for him, they getting fed up. They cussing his ass out. Because they thought they was going to see some changes. And you see Kennedy come out, was it Robert Kennedy Jr.? He come out and say, oh, well, we banning the dyes. We're going to ban 8 dyes, food dyes, the orange and the yellow or red, the red 5 and all of them. But it's 8 different ones. He said, yeah, we're going to ban them. Right, but this is the catch. There don't be no food. So he can make it look like he doing something.
Right.
Without doing shit.
Right.
But this is where it's going. So this is how I'm looking at everything. And they still trying to play the American public for dumb. But yeah, he come out and now here we're gonna get rid of the dye and the food. Yeah, but it ain't gonna be no food.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it's going. We've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all caught up in the hype and the glamour of this place. Like it's so fabulous. Everywhere you go, you tear your vehicle up. You can't keep your car steady in the shop. You hitting potholes and there's damn near ditches in the drive in the road.
Yeah.
Damn near whole ditches. Then you go somewhere, everybody mad and mugging each other. It's liable to be a shootout. What's so fabulous about this shit? You got all these niggas with money getting sued, or the IRS coming after them. Some scandal, breaking out. Come on, man. And all these devils been doing this dirt. Well, we understand. Yeah, that nigga, Shannon Sharp, Floyd Mayweather's silly ass, running around here like he king shit, and he don't own nothing. This nigga don't own nothing. And talking about what he got and what he gonna do. And 50 Cent tried to tell his silly ass. And man, ain't none of this in your name. And that was years ago. And he didn't even 50 Cent, he's successful. He's a successful businessman. Love him or hate him. 50 he know business. Now, if that was your boy, Floyd, why you didn't hit your partner up for some business advice? 50 say he didn't even have an LLC. This nigga with no money got LLCs. But how you don't see it? But that's Jake. Big-headed. Can't tell him nothing. Don't want nobody's help. And then nigga end up crying, asking for help. Most High is beautiful, man. It's poetic justice out here. You didn't want to humble yourself and ask 50 for help, and now you crying asking everybody for help because you broke. You know, hey, this is it. This is it. You niggas ain't got no more rope to play with. Y'all being exposed. Kanye come out talking about they're doing fellatio on his cousin. They watching porn. What kind of porn was you watching?
All right.
This will run you crazy if you don't have this truth. But man, yeah, I'm sorry, but you got it, man. Where we was at?
No, that's it. That's it. Because again, there's various topics. So, like the Apostle Hall says, lessons within lessons. You know, that's it. Psalms 82, it says everything is out of course right now. That's why we need a change, and that's why everybody's saying what they thought was is completely not that at all. Like everything is spiraling out of control in the world. Not gonna go back to what it once was. You see, we ain't gonna read too much in this article and everything in the description box as well. So we're gonna move on. And I'm, brothers touched on it throughout the, yesterday and stuff as well. But again, the CEOs
Hey, real quick, brother. You pulled up Shannon Sharpe. And everybody saw the Cat Williams interview. It wasn't Cat Salakia. I don't know if not as many people saw the Monique interview, but she told him, she said, you need to leave that 20-year-old alone. This was last year. She told him, you need to get you a woman your age that's gonna cook for you, and make sure you straight, and not sue your ass. And but she didn't say that part, but she did tell him he didn't need no 20-year-old. I know, he got the right to deal with her lawfully. But man, here in Babylon, man, hey, it's wise to leave these women alone. Especially you got that paper, they see you as a paycheck. But yeah, Monique told her, leave that old young girl alone, get you a woman, know how to cook and shit. But she might have been on something back then. So now he even got caught up with a 20-year-old. But yeah, I had just thought about it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now I want to play that real quick because I got you right here. I put it up. But even Cat Williams told him and I'm trying to look for it. I can't find it. But in that Cat Williams clip that went viral, Cat Williams, he was speaking about other celebrities, but when he said it, he looked at Shannon Sharpe with a side eye, like, "Hey, nigga, you too."
Yeah.
But what he said, he was like, "Yeah, you could be king." You could be King Kong of the world. You could be the top nigga, but if you plant that snow, because he was saying how you afraid of white women or some shit. Yeah, I'm afraid of white women. You could be King Kong of the world, but white women will bring you down. And he looked at Shannon Sharpe like, "Yeah, nigga." Looking for it, but if y'all out there, you probably go watch the whole interview. But I'm trying to find it. But let me play this real quick. It's a various topic. Refresh it.
I don't have any sound.
Oh, Salaki, hold on. Let me turn it up. Salaki. What the water? Where we at? Right here.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs. Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your get you an old out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for a 4th round, you looking at her like, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna cut that when I found it. Hold on, I'm gonna put it to the screen real quick. Check this out. Hold on, where we at? All right, look. So look, this that Cat Williams one.
But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. Look at them. Watch this. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Yeah, kind.
Yo, Jonathan Majors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got him.
Gotcha, nigga.
Marvel canceled all his shit. He had a big contract. The white girl got him. But yeah, what scripture you had out?
I ain't really had nothing for that one. I know the brother Bamalog had one.
Oh, okay. You were getting ready to go into the Walmart. That's right.
Yeah, we can move on from that one. I was just highlighting it, you know.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give what Bamalog got real quick. This Isaiah 24:5, it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broke the everlasting covenant. And again, that's the reason why we see things are happening the way it happened, whether it's on whatever level, gender, economic, social, whatever. Everything is going downhill because of the way the rulers have led the world. That's it. And now we here at the end of it. You had anything at the Tons of Five? Now I can hit the wildfires and we can get to that video.
Yeah, I'm good, brother. You got it.
So we're gonna move on, and again, all the articles and videos and everything should be in the chat if you kind of want to go more into it. So we're gonna hit on this now. Again, from the past couple months, you've been having a lot of, as they would call it, natural disasters. Which everything that happens is of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, whether there's a flood, whether there's a hurricane, earthquake, tornado, or a fire. And we have been seeing a lot of fires happen lately. Now you had this new fire that took place. Now this is from End Time Headlines, April 23rd, put out yesterday. Now, I'm not going to read this article, but I just want to show how it's been increasing over time. So it says, New Jersey, put out yesterday, New Jersey wildfire forces thousands to evacuate and has consumed over 4,000 acres. Now, that was yesterday. So update from yesterday, from Zero Hedge, it went from 4,000 to, it says, wildfire scorches 8,500 acres in New Jersey and shut down stretch of Garden State Park. Now, the update today was, it says, wildfire in New Jersey spreads over 11,500 acres. Thousands forced to evacuate in their homes. Let's play the quick vid. Matter of fact, 11,000 old. It says now, that was old. It's a new update. It says, breaking news. And this is how I started. Breaking news from ABC News. A 19-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of starting a massive New Jersey wildfire that consumed at least 13,000 acres, authorities said. The wildfire is 50% contained as air quality alerts are in effect until midnight. So again, these things are happening. And now I'm not sure if it actually burned down people's properties, or belongings or whatever they may have, but all this is a buildup, man. What we started with, don't be ignorant of anything big or small. Now think about how many people may have to be displaced because of this. Now you have, again, going back, you have people who've been in, let's play a video, but you have people who've been in North Carolina, with the floods, all in California with the fires, these different earthquakes and hurricanes. A lot of people are asked out and haven't gone back to normal yet. And they won't go back to normal. Because these things going to increase until Jacob's trouble started. And when that started, it's going to multiply. So this is more people in America who now could be homeless, who now could be out of a job, who now could be out of personal belongings and so on and so forth. And now who they're going to go to again? Just like the people in North Carolina, like the people maybe in California still looking for government assistance. And these things going to continue until we get to there, because Esau he just got to cause you with the digital system. It's going to be a gradual cause. Maybe you was the first batcher who lost your property. Now the next step, you're going to be willing and ready to give up your life to survive, man. But I'll play this quick video real quick. It says, a drive down Garden State Park at 2:30 in the morning. It's as the Jones Road wildfires rage in Ocean County, New Jersey. You think about that, all the Lord need to do is send a big gust of wind, and that's gonna spread.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. And, you know, I know we got brothers out there. You know, I know some brothers from the Men of Valor camp. You know, Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai Ratazah. You know, those who believe are not affected. You know, and if they happen to be maybe in the surrounding areas, you know, we believe Yahweh Shema Shai protect. You know, Akim or Akwa, if it may be. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, this is fucked up. We're gonna lose this.
Look,
We're gonna lose this.
Yeah, that's businesses right there. Somebody ain't going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then guess what? Their income gone. Now they just like the people in the government who got their jobs took by Doge.
Yeah, this is fucked up. We're gonna lose this. We're gonna lose this.
Come on, man. So the Lord turned up in the earth, whether people see it or not, man. We know our power moving in the earth. Advertiser Paul, you had anything?
Yeah, come.
Yeah, we got that video next.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back to Isaiah 24.
Come on.
All right, you read 5. All right, I'm gonna pick up at verse 6. It's Isaiah chapter 24, verse 6. It says, "Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left." All right. So that's showing you that curse is talking about that fight, the nuclear missiles. Verse 7 says, "The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh." All right. And we would always read, and we still read it, but you know, back from the time I came into this truth, first coming in, we would read heavy. Lamentations 4:21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz." All right. Right, because they had their time of rulership. They had their time to enjoy the fatness of the earth, their blessing. But now they're getting that cup, just like the scripture says.
Mm-hmm.
That cup also shall pass through unto thee.
That cup, just like the scripture.
That's right. It. No, that's it. They getting that cup. That's right. Come on, brothers. But yeah, man, verse 7, "The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh." So that's in reference, just like when it speaks about Isaiah 32 with the women, the vintage shall fail. It's saying the same thing here. The vine languisheth, meaning you ain't getting no fruit. Everything is dead, it's dying, it's drying up. That's what it's saying. Verse 8, "The mirth of the tabrets ceaseth." Right, y'all ain't got no joy no more. No reason to celebrate. No banquets, no, you know. And then they still gonna be married and all of that, of course, but a lot of people are feeling it. You still gonna have people in delusion, not paying attention, ignorant to the time that we're living in. You're gonna have that up until the time, you know, the Jacob's trouble hit them in the head. But for the majority of the people, they're catching some kind of hell. All right. And for the most part, it's in the financial arena. People hurting. It says, right, the mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. All right. So, right, when they go to drink is to forget, try to drown their sorrows.
Yeah.
They ain't drinking for, again, for celebration, for joy. They're drinking for sorrow. It says, verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right. And then it says, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And that's America. The Most High is strategically, surgically, and systematically breaking this place down bit by bit. All right. And he's using tariffs and bailouts and all these other programs, you know, border policy. All of these things are the Most High breaking this place down. And you see the confusion. You can't tell me America is not the city of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was telling brothers last week, ain't it funny how Russia could be at war the last 3 years, at war with their neighbor, and have more law and order in their country than you got here in America.
Mm.
They got law and order in Russia, Jack. They ain't got all this confusion. And the government has somewhat a level of transparency. And they straight up with the people, look, the West is acting a fool. They ain't gonna be happy. I'm gonna have to get up and slap the shit out of NATO. And the people understand. And they know what bunkers at. They, you know, they got bomb shelters and all that for the people. I don't know, you know, but they got order, man. And over here, it's buck wild.
Yeah.
Flesh-eating, sexually transmitted, flesh-eating bacterial infections. That's what they got time for in Babylon. They got time to spread around bacterial, flesh-eating diseases. In the midst of all of this that's going on, but right, it's a breaking down taking place here. All right. And if you want to continue to be a part of this place, you will be broken down with it. All right. And you see again those men that we just spoke about that you showed them. All right. Floyd was all into this American lifestyle, and now he's broken down. He's a broken man, crying and shit, begging on social media. If you join the scriptures is plain. Those that are joined unto him shall be thrust through.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 13, Isaiah 13 chapter. But go ahead,
Kind of got two quick ones. The brother Kanakaya posted it in the chat, but I saw that verse 28. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at the one I got first because it mentioned what you said, and also these fires in the same verse. 2nd Esdras 5 and 8. It says, "There shall be a confusion also in many places," and it's end time prophecy, and we see confusion everywhere, as the elder was just saying. 2nd Esdras 5 and 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be often sent out again. And it feel like every week, every other week, some new place in America is burning. Some forest, some burning in America.
And don't be surprised if videos start surfacing of lasers being shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is where we are. But yeah, go ahead.
Yup, it says there shall be a confusion also in many places, and a fire shall be often sent out again. And guess what? New Jersey ain't the last one. Hey, shit, Yahweh Shagu had a main fire. So we definitely ain't done saying fires in America. It says, and a wild beast shall change their places, and mistress women. Why? Why wild beasts go change their places? Just like in the lockdown. But again, if you have a lot of these forests being burned down, where's the animals gonna go? But it says, and a wild beast shall change their places, and mistress women shall bring forth monsters. And this is what the brother Kanakaya posted, going into those fires, and we can play this video next. Sirach 39 and 28. It says, there will be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Now, this is some of the spirits that the Lord created for vengeance. It says the first one, fire, hell, and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. So it ain't just a random fire. Notice the Lord doing that, man. It says teeth of wild beasts, 2 Ezra 5, changing their places, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. That's it. The water for that.
Your pop.
So we can go ahead and play this video at the top of pop. You ain't had that notes?
Yeah, go ahead. No, you good.
So we're gonna play this from Redacted. Now, again, as the title said, it's an open forum. So we just jumping from topic to topic. But as you know, we touched on a lot of let me see if I got a picture of him. Klaus Schwab, him right here. If you're an avid, Thursday Live watcher, if you be here with us, on Thursdays, we highlight this guy often. And now, which he was the head of the WEF, the Economic Forum, but now all of a sudden he's stepping down.
He stepped down.
Yep, he stepped down.
Yeah.
You got it.
No, go ahead.
No, they say they says a couple of reasons he stepped. I had the article, but I was like, nah, we ain't gonna touch on it. But it was an article going into why he stepped down. And remember, we touched on it a while back. It was a sexual misconduct in the workplace.
Yep.
Now hold on,
and his son, we thought his son was gonna get it. But that was it. Go ahead.
Now that's it. You're supposed to be, one of the world leaders, one of the men responsible for changing the course of the world, and you getting caught up with sexual misconduct at the workplace. See, Esau really don't got it. He don't really got it. Now again, I'm gonna say this: all this could be a smoke screen. Maybe he going in his bunker right now. Maybe want to, get a jump start. Who knows? But the point is, even though they changing leaders of the World Economic Forum, guess what's still the same? The agenda is still the same. Because I also seen another article that said the reason they was doing this is because now the world see Klaus Schwab as a villain. Again, it says the reason that they doing this, and again, they need a reason to make him step down. So maybe they use the sexual misconduct. And they also say that him and his wife was stealing money. It said him and his wife was stealing money from the WEF account and using it for lavish vacations. Anyway, you a big bad man. But all this could be a ploy and a reason for him to step down in the people's eyes. Because what they were saying is that the world now look at Klaus Schwab and the WEF as an enemy, as a threat to society. So anything that he come with now, people already got the red flag up. So now what they want to do is take him off the way, put a new face up so people don't be on alert as much. But guess what? It's still the same plan as we're gonna read here in a few. Before we hop into it, Tazapar, you got anything?
Yeah, just something to make you say, So he stepped down at 88, and then the Pope dies at 88. Is them the same people?
Yeah.
But I'm joking, but this is a crazy coincidence. But yeah, you got it out.
Man, Esau ugly, bro. This look, when we rule, we ain't gonna be ugly. Like we ain't gonna be
it'd be horrible,
ugly, man.
It'd be horrible looking.
You got that turkey neck, like anyway. So let's see. We gonna read that much into it? We're gonna wait till after this video just to show new leader, same plan. Let's go ahead and play this video from Redacted. So the title says, from Redacted, put out a day ago, Holy SHIT. Look at Klaus Schwab's replacement at the WEF. He's worse. And just the thing, it ain't just that you can say the man worse, because he gonna say something like water ain't for everybody. It ain't just that he worse. All Edomites bad. If Klaus Schwab probably feel the same as this man, if not worse, but he don't voice it. He's more intellectual. You know, he got to stand up in front of people. All Edomites bad. They all got the same plan. So it's not that he worse. They all like that, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you can't make this up. Klaus Schwab is out at the World Economic Forum, and who do they just slide in as an interim chairman? The new head of the WEF is a former CEO of Nestle. His name is Peter Brabeck.
Now, mind you, this guy, think about it. He's the former CEO of Nestle, which Nestle never brought nothing beneficial to the earth. And I always hated Nestle Crunch. Even growing up, this is a side note, I always hated that candy. It's like, this shit trash. Really, I don't even see Nestle Crunch in the stores no more. Yeah. Now that I think about it. But I always hated that candy. And now they're into producing water now, which is the worst water ever.
Yeah.
A pH of 3, if that. But this is the guy now who's over the WEF.
Well, you can't make this up. Klaus Schwab is out at the World Economic Forum, and who do they just slide in as an interim chairman? The new head.
Hey, watch how this dude look. Now, this is one picture that his eyes was like this. It's not every day, but just look at this.
Of the WEF is a former CEO of Nestle. His name is Peter Brabeck Letmathy. I don't even have to say his name. How would you say that? Brabeck Letmathy? What a name. Look at this guy, though. Here he is. This is.
You would think this is a Photoshop picture. You know, half man, half machine. You know, the picture like the Terminator movies. You know, or the AI turned into like the iRobot. No, this is a real picture. This, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up in one of these articles here just to show you. I'm gonna show you this, man, real quick. I'm gonna let the video speak. But that's actually a real picture. Let me put it up on Google. I'm gonna play it back. I don't know why I typed in Google. So check this out. This him. Because I know you go mostly see this picture in the media, right? But just because people think his shit really like that, but this him. This Peter. This Petro right here. That's him. He look like a devil. Small hat. He giving small hat vibes, right? But this is an actual real picture of him in his eye. I don't know what's going on with him. But that's Peter. That's the new dude. Let's go back and play it.
Well, you can't make this up. Klaus Schwab is out at the World Economic Forum, and who do they just slide in as an interim chairman? The new head of the WEF.
Yeah, Alawab said it looked like he got a mask on. I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I would not doubt it.
Is a former CEO of Nestle. His name was Peter Brabeck Letmathy. I don't even have to say his name. How would you say that? Brabeck Letmathy? What a name. Look at this guy, though. Here he is. This is literally the new head of the WEF. I mean, and yeah, like everyone's like, well, what is going on with this weird, like bloody eyeball? And he does look a lot like Le Chiffre, doesn't he? From Casino Royale with the bloody dripping eye. Reminds me of this Bond villain easily. So this new guy, though, believes that water is not a human right, but a commodity to be sold and owned by the likes of Nestle. This is the same guy who argued that filling up your pool or washing your car shouldn't be a personal choice. Why? Because some unelected global body should actually be in charge of how much water you're allowed to use per day, for the greater good. Listen to him.
Check out Peter.
Been in a car accident?
Come on.
Here's exactly how to...
It's a lie, yeah. Let's listen to what he got to say.
About 50 to 100 liters per day.
Elected global body should actually be in charge of how much water you're allowed to use per day, for the greater good. Listen to him.
About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car. There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about water. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in regions without enough water. Water scarcity is the greatest challenge we face today. And we need to start recognizing water as a precious resource. Therefore, water should be better managed, should be better valued, and has to be better preserved.
Yeah.
By who is my
Right.
question?
Right.
He has some points. Absolutely.
Yeah, it
that's
is a
true.
precious. Absolutely, it's precious.
Right.
But as President Trump pointed out a few months ago, obviously when dealing with everything that was going on now, is that we have too much water. We have a lot of it. We have a lot of water. It's just being misused and not being
Nestle
used correctly.
Is a company that steals water. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some details. Yeah.
Not only that, but it's the same people that like had an actual like ad campaign in Africa to convince women to stop breastfeeding and use their formula.
Yes.
And so
yes, great point.
So I mean,
yeah, they steal water and they're using use our breastfeeding formula instead of actual breast milk.
What did Philip just say? What was your last sentence?
Oh, I was just saying that's the guy we want in charge of like everything, I guess. The World Economic Forum, like that's going to go well.
Right.
Well, also Kamala Harris, you recall, I don't know if you guys remember this.
I remember.
She told us, remember, the next war is not going to be like a kinetic war in the traditional sense. The next war, it won't be over oil. It'll actually be over water. Watch.
And here's the other thing, because I also, I'm in a lot of meetings on foreign policy. For years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water. So when we think about building up our economy around our infrastructure on something like water policy, it's literally about jobs. It's about the fundamental source of life that Tammy Duckworth was talking about. It will sustain life. And it's about strengthening up our nation.
Yeah, they own it.
I saw Mad Max. I know.
They own it because that's exactly what I was thinking. When if you understand the history of how, we got to using the fossil fuels, the petroleum and all petroleum oils, all of this shit, they came up with the lie to call it fossil fuels to hide the fact that it's so abundant in the earth. They say, well, if we give it the term fossil fuels, that'll give people the sense that it's finite. And everything on the earth is abundance. The Lord deals in abundance and multiplying. What did he tell? He told Noah, be fruitful and multiply. Well, you gonna tell him, give him that blessing if we got limited resources? But this is his, well, when I say his, Esau's consciousness that everybody has been indoctrinated with, that everything is scarce. When a storm comes, everybody run to the store. Let me get some water. You're in a hypnotic trance to go what you've been programmed to do and go hoard up shit. This is the mindset of fear and lack. And so when that devil said we got to look at water not as an abundant resource, but as a limited commodity, yeah, they're getting ready to charge you for water. Well, we already get charged for water, but it's about to go bad. And so with them bringing up that clip of Kamala, that confirms it. So they own it. Redacted is on it. And Kamala talking about wars being fought over water is not because of scarcity, it's because they say mismanaged, they polluting everything. But you're right. This is why the Lord has to come back. But you got to go ahead, right?
I got a quick one. And just to back up that water claim, like the Lord put water here just to be drunk freely from the people to enjoy the earth, or for the people to enjoy the earth. But he made you pay for it. He didn't, not just that, he didn't make you pay for it as far as giving it to you in a glass bottle, straight out the river. No, he put it in a plastic bottle, with chemicals and so on and so forth. Then he give it to you after it's been shipped and just sitting enough And by the time you get it, you look in it, you know, like the rainbow color, that being like oil and water. Then when you look at it, they kind of got the little mixture, and you're like, man, what is this? That's Esau plan. But I get this real quick. This Lamentations, which Lamentations means, you know, goes into mourning.
And they also putting the graphene in there now. They putting the graphene oxide in the bottled water. Go ahead,
Hey, on top of fluoride. But it says Lamentations 5:1. And this is part of the mourning, man. It says, remember, oh Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, what has come upon us. You know how the scripture says we also ate our bread defiled among the heathens? Well, this is part of the curses as well. It says, oh Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, remember what has come upon us, and consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our house is to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are widows. Here it is. We have drunken our water for money.
Yep.
We have drunken our, and again, this is part of why we are lamenting. We got to pay for water. Think about that. And then the water we pay for is worse than what's out the earth. It says we have.
Yeah.
It says,
go ahead.
You got it.
No, you got it.
It says we have Lamentations 5:4. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Man, you should be able to just go into the earth and cut down something and get some wood. No, you got to go to HEB or Publix or Walmart or you know, wherever you at, and get the bag, 15 cut pieces of wood, and that's gonna cost you $25.
Yeah, you got to go to the hardware, the lumber yard to get your timber, or your, you know, if you want to build, yeah, like you say, you're supposed to be able to go get it. He's like he created this. He like he put water on the earth. You know, he put the trees here. What did our forefather Isaac do? He dug about 3 wells, and they came bogarted. They bogarted at least 2 of them. I had to go back and look at that, but he let them have it after he dug the well, and that's some work, digging a well. And here this devil, he ain't did shit, like you said. He just putting it in a toxic bottle and putting it in stores and charging us for it. And that's because he's poisoned most of the water sources. And he poisoned the tap or the public water supply. But yeah, brother, you got it.
And we just got a few more, and we'll really kind of end it here in a few. But just off the backs of saying, look, the WEF, they changed their leader, I guess, so to speak. This article is in the chat. Now, we're not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read just a little bit. I'm going to jump down to the bottom last paragraph. But just to show, just because it's a new face, guess what? Same agenda. Same thing they was going to do. So this was put out yesterday from naturalnews.com. It says World Economic Forum's new leader, which is the red-eyed dude we just seen. He says sharpens globalist critics' fears as Klaus Schwab stepped down amid his scandal. Now we ain't gonna read all this again. It's in the chat. You know, a study to show ourselves to be approved, right? So go check it out. But just to highlight some things that is mentioning in the paragraphs above before we get to the point, is going into Klaus Schwab, not just him, but he was the face of these plans, right? And one plan is this, as I say right here, from Klaus Schwab, it says the pandemic or the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. And now remember that because this is going to shed light on this next article, because they talking about the way we had it in the pandemic, the pandemic, how we had everything locked up, right? We had all the internet under our surveillance. We was forcing people to do what we want to do. This next article they're gonna say, how about we make this permanent? Not just for a demic, how about we make this permanent? So just to show this new guy, he gonna follow the same plan, man.
Oh yeah. If Klaus Schwab ain't, quarterbacking from his bunker,
right?
It could just be smoke and mirrors. But yeah, it's the same agenda is gonna continue forward for sure. But yeah, you got it out.
That's it. For example, like some things, like right here, it says Schwab's leadership was marked by divisive initiatives like the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which critics call dystopian and pro-centralization. The WEF's 2016 slogan was "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing and have no privacy." Now, it's going into the things Klaus Schwab brought forth. And for another one, it says, in conservatives' voices frame Schwab's exit as damage control, warned that Brabeck Letmathy's, the new red-eye dude, ties to corporate exploitation, water privatization,
yeah.
Kind of throw out. It says water privatization reveals the WEF's unchecked agenda, upcoming battles over digital ID systems, carbon credits, and autonomy loom as scrutiny intensifies. So that's the way Klaus Schwab was going. I'm gonna jump down and read this article because it's a good read, right? Just to show you things ain't gonna change. It says a new era? ? Vigilant rules. It says, as Brabeck Letmathy, yeah, we will have to learn his name because I'm sure we will have to mention him a couple of times now. It says Brabeck, if I'm saying that right, Letmathy, the red-eye guy, assumes his role. It says globalist critics, check this out. Globalist critics contend this transition will neither dilute nor delay the WEF's overarching agenda. In other words, Klaus Schwab out, this new dude in, it ain't stopping nothing. We going forth.
Right. That's it. That's right.
We going forth. You know why? It's not just them.
Yep.
If I may add at the top of the it's not just them, the Lord making them go forth. You know why? For prophecy's sake. For prophecy's sake.
Man.
And you know what they're gonna go forth with? Check this out at the top of the it says, assumes his role. And the globalist critics contend that this transition will neither, so it ain't gonna do none of this, dilute nor delay the WEF's overarching agenda, which is ultimately getting everybody to see her. It says, with probes into Schwab's alleged misconduct and interim leaders' contentious heritage, the forum faces amplified scrutiny. Yet, the interconnected nature of its flagship projects, including carbon credit schemes, a social credit score, and what else? And digital ID frameworks, suggest further battles for autonomy over resources and data. They still going forth with it, man. It ain't gonna stop nothing. You have anything on that, Tyler Paul?
Nah, you good, bro.
We can hit this quick one, and we got that other video about the concentration camps, and we could pretty much end it after that. But just to show, look, they going forth. They not stopping, man, which they shouldn't stop. I hope they don't stop. Because if they stop, then prophecy can't go forth. Esau got to continue. He got to make the world worse. He got to put more pressure on the people, man. So we need these things to happen. Now, again, I'm sure we all remember how life was during the pandemic. How, and that's also the time that apostles, elders, brothers, bishops, all our videos was getting deleted back to back to back. Every video, pretty much, brothers' pages was getting cut. They were censoring, the truth heavy. And also, there was, I don't know if this is a word, but they propagandized. If it's not a word, we're going to make it a word today. But they propagandized social media.
Mm-hmm.
They took everybody who spoke truth or anything that was holistic, a holistic diet, they took that off and put up, go get the juice. They pushed their agenda and hid everybody else's opinion. And also they forced people with their agenda to go get the juice. So now the World Health Organization, which is linked up with the WEF, all of them agree. Now they're saying how we had an endemic, how we controlled the narrative. Now they're saying, let's make that permanent. Let's make that permanent. Let's have laws, rules, regulations, a digital system for healthcare and everything. Let's make that permanent. And they got to make it permanent, according to Revelation 3 and 10 and Revelation 13, 15, 16, and I think 17, man. They have to make it. They're going to have to cause all.
That's it.
And this was put out today. It says, Natural News, the WHO proposes permanent, keyword, let's see what permanent means. It says lasting or intended to last, remain unchanged or indefinitely. The WHO proposes permanent tech alliance to shape health narratives, sparking debates over censorship and what else? And behavioral control. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, and I really don't remember exactly what a good part said. It's a good read, though. But what they going to
reminded me, there was a couple in Britain, somewhere in Britain, that they got arrested for a social media post on WhatsApp. And they were just talking about, they was speaking about the school system where they were and a certain teacher or something. So yeah, they're using the social media in these other countries, which is coming here to America. They're for one, they're spying, and then they're bringing up charges, for whatever, like sedition or whatever, just for communicating. So right, it's about to get real dystopic around here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Musk was pushing for that everything app, one app that do everything. But yeah, what else you had?
Kind of sound like that MOTB is going to do everything for you. I'm gonna jump down because again the topics was, now again it's in the chat, but it says their vision is permanent institutionalized control, not just for a demic or a scare. Let's make this every day to where people can't say what they want to say on YouTube or social media. They can't have an opinion, and not just that, but healthcare got to be tied to a digital system. We see where all this is leading to. But I want to get in it. It also says how behavior will be the new metric, not just likes and views. Now social media is likes and views. They said going into this permanent thing that they want to do, it ain't just likes and views that they're looking for. It's behavior change. People's lives about to change because of what's coming, man. A digital system. I'm gonna just read it. Matter of fact, it's right here. I'm gonna read it because I mentioned it. Here it is, real quick. And we could probably end it after this. It says, FDAIS empowers local influencers, so on and so forth. It says, emphasizing a program's role in tailoring messages to local audiences while maintaining centralized control. The goal, he added, is to measure success not by likes or impressions just because you clicked on it, but by behavior change. Niggas gonna change. Life gonna change. With tech platforms prioritizing content that aligns with institutional priorities. And I'm going to read this last part and we can move on because it says social behavior, if I'm not mistaken. It says the WHO explicit focus on behavioral compliance over, which kind of goes into social credit score, over transparency raises ethical questions. It says the target isn't information sharing, it's control. And that's ultimately what we saw coming to, man, full control. So they're not just waiting on the thing is not just waiting to a demic or a scare in the world, emergency to happen. Let's let this be everyday life. Everyday life, man. I'm going to play this one quick video. It's not going to be, it's a short video, a 4-minute video. I'm going to play like 2 minutes of it, but it's going to go into how life, Esau already setting up to have concentration camps in every city in America. As Elder Tazapai just said, a dystopian society is upon us, man. Elder Tazapai, we can end it after this as well.
Right. Done.
In a recent interview with Clayton Morris on Redacted, U.S. Border Patrol agent turned filmmaker J.J. Carroll discussed his new documentary and the fact that prison facilities are being built in all 50 states to hold millions of political dissidents.
And there's detention facility bids to build individual detention facilities in every state in the union. And then she goes on to say to me, well, JJ, who do you think they're built for? And she says in this interview, they're for dissidents, American dissidents.
The FEMA camps.
Now, I'm gonna stop that. I ain't gonna stop it no more. I want to stop there to highlight this real quick. She said why they was built, why they being built. She said for American dissidents. That's people who don't agree with the government. The main people who don't agree are the believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now, seeing that's not far-fetched, came out a couple of days ago. This is from NPR News. It says homegrowns are next. Not just the immigrants coming to America, but people who are American citizens. It says Trump hopes to deport and jail U.S. citizens abroad, and not just to send American citizens to the Venezuela jail. But remember, the Insurrection Act that Trump made. You got it.
Oh, I'm just saying that's a direct quote. Trump said that. It's a clip of him saying he said it. But yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, and so it's not just sending American citizens to Venezuela, but as the video gonna say, they are setting up camps in every state, and that's gonna shed more light on the Insurrection Act, because anybody who say anything against the government, president, or what's going on, you're gonna get locked up. So it's falling into place, man. If a brother want to post Revelation 2 and 10, I believe, cast some of you in the prison.
In a recent interview with Clayton Morris on Redacted, U.S. Border Patrol agent turned filmmaker J.J. Carroll discussed his new documentary and the fact that prison facilities are being built in all 50 states to hold millions of political dissidents.
And there's detention facility bids to build individual detention facilities in every state in the union. And then she goes on to say to me, well, JJ, who do you think they're built for? And she says in this interview, they're for dissidents, American dissidents.
The FEMA camps were reported decades ago. This was never an outrageous conspiracy theory. The U.S. government has been framing American patriots as the enemy for decades. And the reason should be obvious. Those who have been in control of the U.S. government for generations have no interest in serving the people in accordance to the Constitution or otherwise. Our country is being destroyed from within, and the rule of law has been weaponized against those who defend it. Hundreds of innocent Americans have been arrested and thrown in jail because they chose to peacefully protest the 2020 stolen election. And others, such as Jeremy Brown, a Green Beret who was approached in late 2020 by federal agents trying to recruit him for the Jan 6 false flag operation, was arrested after going public with this information by the same federal agents. He was put in maximum security prison, where he remains to this day, his 1,000th day in federal prison. Hundreds of innocent Americans have been in jail for years, and several have been tortured. Much of America is okay with the fact that hundreds are rotting in jail for a peaceful protest. It's already become the norm. While it's definitely worth celebrating the release of Julian Assange, the American people have never been more divided. The Daily Mail reports that more than 40% of Americans think a new civil war will be fought within the next decade. According to one poll, more than 4 in 10 U.S. voters say the country is likely to get ripped apart in a second civil war within 5 years. And another shows that over 100 million Americans say that civil war is coming. Based on the recommendation of think tank Policy Horizons, Canada has been preparing for an American civil war, including cyber attacks and grid failures following the 2024 presidential election. The soldiers of the New World Order are not going to die easy. They are apparently willing to spark a nuclear conflict with Russia and are already writing new laws to bring back the draft.
So women have never been required to register for the draft, but that could soon change thanks to lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
Martha, good morning. The Senate version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which sets out military and national security priorities, would require women to register for selective service. It concludes, quote, "This is a necessary and fair step, making it possible to draw on the talent of a unified nation in a time of national emergency." Now, there are two different versions of this bill, one in the House, one in the Senate. So it's possible women in the draft could get dropped as lawmakers iron out the differences.
So while women may get dropped from this bill, our government is bringing back the draft while provoking a major war with Russia. They have their bunkers, and they've already jailed hundreds for protesting an election. So they'll definitely jail draft dodgers and everyone else who stands in their way, unless we unite against them. Reporting for InfoWars.
See? So that's it, man. Concentration camps being built, Trump passing laws that he may enact the Insurrection Act, which go allow military troops to be in the streets, and that's going to further, again, show why the concentration camps are being made, man. So we here, like we not waiting on nothing else to happen. It's happening. It's happening. But that's pretty much it on the Taza Power. I see the brother posted Revelation 2:10, the water out. Revelation 2:10, it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, the so-called white man, shall, by way of his system, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison," or concentration camps. It says, "that you may be tried. And ye shall suffer tribulation 10 days, but be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." And that's pretty much it. I know I got a couple on here at the Taza Power, brothers was getting busy, but that's all I had. So you could take us out. What you got?
Yeah, brothers. Hey, the Water Brothers for the precepts and the support. For the lesson. Yeah, y'all getting it in. But yeah, hey. We pray that you all were edified. And before we get out of here, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 as well as the rest of the elect. All right. Y'all tune in next week, Lord willing. We'll be here with another lesson. And to the next time, until then, shalom.
Shalom. The water for tuning in. Shalom.